Hey there, and thank you so much for joining us on Weather Out West on this Friday. I'm meteorologist Ashley Ruiz, and we have a lot to track for you today. It's rain across the board. You see all the way down to Southern California, Central California, and the Pacific Northwest. As an atmospheric river prepares to pummel Southern California, other spots from Phoenix to Seattle are also seeing some rain through the weekend. Up here in the cooler climates, our gardens may be looking a little worse for wear. We talked to a gardening expert about some hardy and colorful plants that can bring back some life. And for the first time, we're getting a look at an explosive space phenomenon taking place 22 million light years away. Look at that. The Wave Chasers are a group that just reached 100 members strong. We head to the beach to meet the women that prove fun in the water is truly for all ages. And a very happy Friday to you. Hopefully you're having a good week so far. And once again, we want to welcome you to Weather Out West. And this is an hour-long show where we tell you what's happening weather-wise for 8 cities, regions out in the West. Today, Southern California officials are advising people that they may want to evacuate from areas that could flood following intense rainfall, particularly near burn scars. The Weather Service issued this map showing where the rain is expected to be most intense today and tomorrow. This has the potential to cause flooding and debris flows, especially in places where wildfires have taken place. That land is unable to absorb water like it did before, meaning water will run right off the hillsides and sometimes carry in rocks, boulders, or entire trees with it. NOAA says the burned soil can be as water repellent as pavement. And speaking of Southern California, this heavy rain due to the atmospheric river that's rolling into Southern California. That's expected to stick around through the weekend. Let's go to Vanessa Paz, who has more information on this storm system. And San Diego is expected to see some of the biggest impacts.
Happy Friday from San Diego, California. I'm CBS 8 meteorologist Vanessa Paz. Well, we have a storm brewing that is going to dump heavy rain at times across San Diego, California. In fact, we're seeing the beginning stages of it this Friday. We had some light showers early in the morning, but right now it looks like it is fairly light across the board. Again, the really heavy stuff arriving on Saturday. So this is triggering weather impact days for us here in San Diego. We are looking at the threat for elevated flooding, and of course, due to the high winds, we also could have the threat for downed trees as well as power lines because the activity is only going to intensify, especially as we get into the weekend. We are looking at the heaviest rain Saturday, and then things are going to simmer down, continuing to linger into Sunday, but not nearly as widespread nor heavy. All right, so here's that atmospheric river, kind of that river high, way high in elevation, and we have this area low that's going to tap into all of that moisture, saturating not only San Diego, but much of Southern California. And this is going to bring some beneficial rain. We could break records, especially when it comes to counties just to our north. And it's areas like LA, Santa Barbara, and Ventura counties could actually get rainfall that would exceed close to what we should be getting for this time of the year. And they could be meeting about a quarter accumulation in terms of their average annual rainfall. All right, so that ridge of high pressure, again, we're kind of in between two systems. That's also going to intensify activity for us here in San Diego because we're kind of in between that jet stream, the high and low pressure. Countywide flood watch will be issued for the entire region starting tomorrow early morning around 4 o'clock, lasting all the way through 10 a.m. The coast and valleys, earlier this week, we were seeing that we could get anywhere between 3 to 4 inches. Now it looks like that number has decreased a bit. The coast and valleys, our most populated neighborhoods, will get anywhere between 1 to 2 inches, and the mountains could accrue anywhere between 2.5 to 3.5 inches, and the high deserts will even get in on the action, getting anywhere between 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. Here's what it looks like across our day-by-day chances. This is our meteogram. Notice how the chance for rain really soars tomorrow, especially to that 100% level, down to about 54 on Sunday. But we're looking at mostly, again, wet conditions conditions all the way through late next week. Our greatest chance of seeing any dry weather would be middle of next week on Wednesday. So here's a quick look at that play-by-play of the rain as we fast forward this, kind of put it into motion. We're looking at widespread light showers for your Friday into the evening. That's not to say that things won't pick up, but they'll be very scattered in nature. And then looking ahead to Saturday early morning, while most of us are sleeping, that's when the brunt of the storm arrives. We could not only see heavy downpours at times, but also the threat for thunderstorms. And by knowing now that any thunderstorm activity could trigger downpours, periods of very gusty winds. And of course, this is a time where you want to stay off the road. So tomorrow afternoon around 1 p.m. or so, that's actually when it looks like we could have some lightning and thunder activity, especially when it comes to the county's eastern half. And again, right now we have a flood watch, but National Weather Service could very well upgrade that to a flood advisory or a flash flood warning. Here's a quick look at the coastal and inland 7-day forecast. Not only are we looking at windy and rainy conditions, but temperatures are going to plummet this weekend into the mid-60s for the coast and inland valleys, and overnight lows are also going to drop down to the 40s by the time we get to Monday night.
And as that atmospheric river descends into San Diego and moves over San Diego, let's meet the brave men and women who may be out flying in that storm. The Air Force Reserves and NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, both have their own groups of hurricane hunters to gather important data about storms that impact us as well as hurricanes in the Atlantic and the Eastern Pacific. The video we're seeing here shows the Air Force Reserves and NOAA hurricane hunters on data gathering missions for atmospheric rivers and in California and in Alaska. Some of these NOAA videos that you are seeing are also into some of the hurricanes. Now, these fleets fly through storms in specialized aircraft. For the Air Force, it's a WC-130J. And these collect information about pressure, temperature, humidity, and moisture, and wind. Because of them, meteorologists are able to be more precise with their forecast and predict what severe impacts may be on the way and when to expect it. So all of that data they gather, especially over the Pacific, then we have so much open water, a lot of it does not even have any sensors to gather some of this information. And so that's when they come in, get some of that real-time data. All of that data that they get, that is then plugged into some of our global computer models that you hear us talking about. And they also deploy buoys as well. And speaking of that atmospheric river, that heavy rain that moved into northern central California from that atmospheric river on Thursday, Sacramento will feel somewhat of a break today before more rain pushes in over the weekend as that low begins to move to the east. Sunday and Monday are weather impact alert days. So let's go to meteorologist Monica Woods because she has everything you need to know.
I'm meteorologist Monica Woods, and we are right back at it. That storm door is open. Our fall and winter rain and snow has arrived. More weekend rain and snow on the way. We've got travel impacts to talk about once again heading into our Saturday and Sunday. Now, this is what we were dealing with on our Thursday. Rain-soaked roads, ponding, flood concerns, as well as mud and debris flows possible. With the accumulated rain continuing into our weekend, we're going to have to continue to monitor that. So for our weather impact headlines, we're right back at it. The timeline now shifts to Sunday. Rain, wind, and snow making a return to expect more travel delays for the weekend outlook. That one not as much of a soaker as what we've been seeing on our Thursday, but it is going to add additional rainfall coming in, especially through central and southern California, just because of the position of where this storm seems to want to favor. Here's a look at our high resolution futurecast. And again, for our Friday, we're mainly looking at the wraparound moisture. We still have a little touch of cold air trying to work its way in. So snow level has been struggling. We've mainly been seeing that high elevation rain, which has been putting a lot of runoff coming into the valley and lower elevations, adding to the flood concerns. As we turn our attention to that weekend storm, we are going to start to get a little bit colder, but again, struggling for our Saturday to really bring that robust snowpack going on. It's not until we get into our Sunday forecast that we start to see the surge of some of that colder air working in and that snow levels starting to drop. So Sunday, a much better performer for snow than, say, our Saturday outlook. All of that will bring us additional rainfall, mostly for the central and southern part of the state. So you're going to see more in the way of about 2+ inches for Bakersfield, parts of the foothills, Fresno, nearly 1.5 inches. Compare that to Sacramento, about 0.5 inch, as well as Redding. Again, this is going to favor areas south of I-80. Our Friday temperatures, at least we're starting to see some drying take shape during the afternoon. Highs are going to be close to 50 for the high country. As we move into the foothills, highs are going to be in the low to mid 50s. This is much cooler than where we started off for the work week. As we move our way southward, Yosemite up to 50 degrees should be able to get some really nice snow at the highest elevations above 9,000 feet. So that at least starts to get a little bit of that snowpack going. 60s throughout the Central Valley. That includes Fresno as well as Madera. As we move into the Central Coast, highs are going to be in the 60s. We still see some lingering showers along the Central Coast for our Friday, as well as parts of the San Joaquin Valley. That low really struggling to kind of make that final push off to the east. So we'll still be dealing with the lingering showers. In the Bay Area, highs in the 60s for our Friday. Inland areas also in the 60s. There's not a huge temperature variation from the coast to the valley, as you can see here. 60s along the northwest coast. That's what we'll see for the north end of the valley. 50s as we head over towards Plumas and Lassen counties. 60s right through the capital region, with overnight lows dropping into the upper 40s to right around 50. Moving on to our extended forecast, of course, that includes that kind of washed out weekend. Mostly Saturday late in the day through Sunday is when we see most of that coming through. Now, this will have lingering impacts for Monday morning's commute. So Thursday, not a great one. Friday, a little bit better, but then we're right back at it for early next week. But again, we have that weather impact alert for Sunday, disruptive weather over the weekend, more rain next week.
And that same storm system from the Pacific is set to impact the desert Southwest over the weekend. We're going to check in with Phoenix's Ginger Jeffries for everything you need to know. And when we come back, we'll learn more about Colorado's historically low snowpack. Heads up, Arizona, big changes are headed your way over the weekend. Phoenix's Ginger Jeffries has all of those details.
I'm meteorologist Ginger Jeffries with a look at weather out west across Arizona, where we are prepping for, winter. At least done desert style. Temperatures are coming down, rain is moving in, and yes, even snow in the higher elevations. Today, you wouldn't know it because look at these numbers. We're still enjoying the 80s. This is well above the normal range. In fact, it's been one of the warmest starts to November for us ever. 85 today, Phoenix. I've got 83 in Yuma, about 72 in Kingman, 60 in Flagstaff, and 86 in Tucson. Quite a bit of cloud cover entering into the mix. We'll call it mostly sunny because these are just thin clouds. The real cloud blanket is going to be rolling overhead by tomorrow after about 3 o'clock. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight lows down to about 63 degrees. Today, breezy conditions. I won't call it gusty. We don't have a wind advisory, but the wind is going to start generating. This is a sign that, we've got this area of low pressure that is going to be pushing in and really having an impact on us this weekend. I mean, look at the numbers from 60s into the 40s. From the 80s into the 70s, but we're not stopping there. Next week, we are falling all the way into the 60s here for our daytime highs. That's obviously because this is a cold system, which will be bringing in rain and snow. The first snowfall of the season is expected in the coming days. So what are we prepping for as far as rainfall? About 1/4 of an inch to maybe on the high end up to 3/4 of an inch. And then we've got another inch of rain on the docket for you next week. Again, just waves of moisture will be rolling on through. Heaviest expected on Sunday. Then we get a little bit of a break, but here we go. It's kind of a roller coaster ride. And I know 30-20%, not a big deal. It just kind of shows that we've got these showers that are going to be migrating through the valley and bringing down the temperatures for sure. 90% of the region on Sunday will be seeing some rain. And again, we've got that snow element as well. So as far as the elevation, this weekend should be at about 9,000 feet. Later on Sunday, dropping down to 8,000 feet. And next week, I'm expecting it to get even lower. Accumulation from all this, well, it's been kind of all over the place. Definitely staying under about 6 inches, I think closer to 3 to 4 inches of snow in the higher elevations. So the timing of this, as you can see today, we've got some clouds, but tomorrow after about 3:30, that's when it looks like these showers are approaching from the west. And notice those wind vectors. Yep, it's also going to be breezy. By about, let's say 7:30 into 8 o'clock, that's when it looks like we've got some showers. And then it's going to push to the north another round Sunday early morning, and even more showers expected primarily on the west side of the valley into Sunday evening, and then clearing out on Monday as far as rainfall. But the cloud cover is going to stick around. So rainfall totals, they've really been all over the place, and the concentration was on the west side. But now we're seeing a heavier rainfall expected on the east side. So today the wind is really going to dictate exactly where and how much shower activity we are going to get. But no matter how you slice it, even if you're in one of the pockets that gets missed by all the rain, you are definitely going to feel the impact as temperatures are coming way down. Look at this, 80s, 70s, and 60s. Yep, winter is coming.
Winter is coming indeed. We call that weather whiplash. Colorado's ski hills are battling a historically low snowpack this year, but that's not going to stop them from hitting the slopes. Instead, they're just making their own. This is Colorado's third worst winter on record when it comes to natural snowfall. Ski hill operations, Vail and Georgetown, each recently recorded nearly 2 weeks with no natural snowfall. This means they're working around the clock to make artificial snow. But even getting that to stick around has been a challenge due to some unseasonably warm temperatures. And those unseasonably warm temperatures are going to continue for our friends in Denver, but that's not going to be the case for long. Chris Bianchi and Jaden Knowles tells us if and when Denver could see its first snow of the season.
And I'm 9 News Weather Impact Team meteorologist Chris Bianchi here in Denver, Colorado, where it's felt more like San Diego, California for the last few weeks. And it's going to feel like that again here on this Friday, with those temperatures topping out in the 70s and 80s Eastern Plains, 50s and 60s for us in the mountains. What are we doing? It is the middle of November, and these temperatures a good 20 degrees above average and not far away from our record high of 79 for us here in Denver. It stays dry, light winds for the most part across Colorado as well. All this is thanks to this ridge of high pressure. However, if you're hoping for some meaningful changes, it's more actual, November-like real weather for us here across Colorado, we've got it lurking just off to our west. This is the first in a series of low pressure systems that'll move its way through Colorado and finally make it feel like November once and for all for us. And that'll tap into some of that colder air for the beginning to middle part of next week. But it's the middle part of the week where we start to see a notable push of colder air. So that 7-day forecast, kind of a lot to decipher here, folks. It's a bit of a stairway to fall for us. And by the way, if you're a little worried about that Broncos game on Sunday afternoon, don't worry. Those showers will be overnight Sunday and into Monday. But by the middle to end part of next week, the computer model's disagreeing quite a bit about what's going to happen here. But our thought here at the 9 News Weather Impact Team is that we'll see much colder temperatures and the growing potential for our first snowflakes of the season for us in Denver. It is way late. Our average first snow in Denver, Colorado, October 18th. We haven't seen a single snowflake yet. That'll likely change next Wednesday and Thursday. And again, for that Broncos game, showers after the game, but temperatures in the mid-60s at kickoff as the Broncos with a big home game against the Kansas City Chiefs at Empower Field at Mile High.
Well, I'm Weather Impact Team meteorologist Jaden Knowles here in Denver, Colorado, and a lot of people here in Denver have been asking, where is the snow? Well, we might get some as we head into next week, but so far it's been 210 days and counting since the last time we've seen the snow. That was back on April 18th, and that's the 11th longest on record. Well, yeah, it's the 11th right now. As we head into the week, and we're going to add to that record, of course, and start to flirt with that top 10 as well as even top 5. November 16th, which will be this Sunday, that's actually a record set back in 1894 for the latest first snow back in that year. And we still don't have any snow in the forecast for Sunday. And then we head to Monday, which is November 17th. That was the latest first snow in 2016. Still no snow in the forecast for 2025 by the time we head into Monday. But things starts to get a little bit interesting as we head into midweek next week. But first, let's talk about the snowpack. It's not doing well whatsoever. We're tied for the lowest on record. And matter of fact, the 2 years that I can recall is 1999 as well as 2016. Here's the good news about those years. Although they had the latest first snowfall and the snowpack really wasn't doing so well, they finished above average by the time they headed into April, which is some good news because, of course, weather likes to repeat itself. So hopefully we're above average by the time we head into April of 2026. But here's the good news. I'm going to leave you with some good news there. 6 to 10 day outlook looks a lot cooler as well as snowier as we head into next week. Like I mentioned, that's the reason for the potential weather impact for Wednesday. So we are looking at the possibility of that rain finally switching to snow here in Denver.
Fingers crossed there. Now, the cold temperatures may be sapping the life out of your garden, but one expert knows just how to bring some color back. We meet Cisco Morris right after the break. November is the time when gardens in cooler climates typically die, and they even get a little ugly. Pacific Northwest gardening expert Cisco Morris is here to share 4 plants that are late autumn miracle workers to brighten things up.
Hey, winter's coming. A lot of things are dying back, but there's some plants that look great in November. I'm going to show you 4 of them. They're going to make your garden shine. This is a Nandina. It's called Heavenly Bamboo. This one's called Firepower. And this comes out chartreuse in the spring, then it turns green. Then in fall, it starts turning red. By mid-November, this thing will look like it's on fire. It's so beautiful. They call it Heavenly Bamboo because the people in Japan think that you could tell your problems to this plant. It takes them away. It doesn't hurt the plant. Didn't do any good at all when I put that 2-ton rock through the side of the house. No good at all. Talk about adding a golden glow to your garden. This is Mexican mock orange, and it's Choicea tornata. This plant grows in Texas, Arizona, down into Mexico. I love it because it smells just like an orange when you crunch a leaf. The flowers smell like orange blossoms. And it adds such a gorgeous glow to your garden. The tag says don't stick it full sun, stick it in full sun. If it burns up a little in the spring, just cut it to 6 inches. It'll come back and look like this in no time. And how can you have a winter landscape without some beautiful conifers? This is a real favorite of mine. It's a little Hinoki cypress. It's called Verdonii, and it's famous for having the golden look. It doesn't burn like a lot of them do, and it's not going to get 120 feet. I think he's a really cutie. Look at all that neat contorted growth. Just because it's November doesn't mean you can't have flowers. Look at this spectacular Mrs. Popple Hardy Fuchsia. This thing will keep blooming until it gets hit by a really hard freeze, and almost always it's got flowers till after Thanksgiving. There's one problem with this plant. It attracts so many hummingbirds, you can't even go out in the garden without a hard hat. Now, if you don't happen to have a hard hat at home, that's all right. A nice cheese head will work just as good. Oh la la!
We always love having Cisco on the show here in Seattle. Now, coming up, we're going to take you to Portland to see what the rain is doing. If it's going to stick around, Rod Hill will tell us coming up. But also coming up, the early stages of a supernova explosion were finally captured by scientists. We get a first look coming up. Welcome back to Weather Out West on this Friday, and we'll get back to your forecast in just a minute, but we wanted to show you this because for the first time, scientists are showing us the start of an explosive and fleeting outer space phenomena. Patrick Cornell shares that story.
Take a look at this fiery cosmic creation. Astronomers say you're seeing the start of a supernova as it breaks through the dying star's surface. Using the European Southern Observatory's Very Large Telescope, yes, that's its real name, researchers spotted a star 22 million light years away mere hours into its demise. As the massive star collapsed, documenting something never seen before, the true shape of the early stage of a supernova. Using a technique called just read that word on the screen. Using it to clue in on the geometry of the explosion, compiling that data to create this artist rendering of the outer space spectacle, ultimately concluding it resembles an olive. Astronomers say this initial supernova stage is very short-lived before becoming a fully enveloped fireball, which is why it's been hard to record until now. The new discovery helps provide valuable insight into the deaths of these massive stars.
Now let's head on over to Portland, Oregon, where Rod Hill is telling us what we can expect for the weekend.
It's a Friday in Portland. We had rain overnight, but really it's been pretty quiet down here this morning, and we're still in that crazy mild temperature pattern where a lot of us have had 50-degree temperatures night after night. We could hit 60 today. Okay, it's the 14th day of November, and this is what Timberline looks like up on Mount Hood at 6,000 feet this morning. And the point is, and I've been talking about this, there's really no snow on the ground. It was 1 year ago today, November 14, 2024, that it looked like this. All three of the big Cascade resorts here in Oregon opened for daily operations. Bachelor opened, you're looking at Meadows and Timberline, and this wasn't some sneak opening. This was, we are now open for the season, skiing on good, healthy bases. It was a huge story how early the snow season started 1 year ago. Let's come out back to my live camera behind me from Timberline. So obviously nothing on the ground right now, and weather models still show very limited opportunities for snow between now and Thanksgiving. So if nothing changes, it's simple to stand here and tell you that we will not be seeing skiing and boarding on Thanksgiving weekend this particular holiday season upcoming in just a couple of weeks. But there is hope because a year ago we started off, really healthy snow, October into November, but then December turned really warm and we didn't really see a whole lot of snow during the month. This year I still feel like it could be the opposite. December could finally get us into some colder weather. And then once we get into the new month of December, we'd rapidly start to build up good snowpack going into the Christmas and New Year holiday season. So that's kind of the update. But it was 1 year ago that we were talking about the earliest open. It was one of the earlier openings in 20 to even 50 years. I think Bachelor said it was one of their earliest openings in like 50 years last year. It was crazy. All right, we have rain up in Seattle. We have nothing in Portland. This little band of cloudiness here is a warm front that I think will march inland and bring us some increase of rain this evening into overnight tonight. But during the day today, there's a front up over Seattle, and that's where most of the rain is going to be. Not really expecting that to push down our direction to the south. Futurecast doesn't show much. 9 o'clock this morning, here we are this afternoon at 4 o'clock. It does show that there's a decent chance of showers north of Portland, up around Astoria and Longview. And while there is a shower threat in Portland and Salem, I think the odds are actually good that we're just going to stay completely dry today with kind of a mixed bag of clouds and some sun breaks at times. Now here's a little surge of that warmer air, that weakening warm front I was mentioning, bringing in increasing rain later this evening and overnight into Saturday morning. Then that will fizzle out during the day. And then I think the next chance for maybe some heightened rain is Sunday afternoon. So you put it all together, weather model says between Portland and down into Salem, maybe we get a quarter of an inch of rain, all total between today and Sunday, and maybe we don't. This does show there could be more significant rain up around Astoria, maybe a brand new 76 100ths of an inch coming. Our live cameras, the clouds at the coast, that was Lincoln City, the clouds over Salem, and there are the clouds over Portland. Let's get you to our 7-day forecast. 59 today, mainly dry, showers overnight tonight into morning, and then really a lot of dry time Saturday day. If there's one part of our weekend here in Portland that it will just be raining, that would be Sunday afternoon. We'll keep you updated on that.
Now taking you up to Seattle, Washington. More rain headed to western Washington, and here we're in Seattle. Let's check in with Rich Marriott for much more.
Hi, I'm King 5 meteorologist Rich Marriott, and it has been a wet morning out there. In fact, it's really been dumping rain, and we have had a lot of standing water on the roadways, confirming the fact there's still a lot of leaf drains, storm drains out there that aren't doing a very good job of draining that water off. It's made for a challenging commute at times today. You can see that band stretching all the way from southwestern Washington all the way up into Skagit County right now, and this is associated with the system that moved in yesterday, the front that came in yesterday, gradually weakened and dissipated as we headed toward the afternoon, and really only produced a few showers overnight. But we have an incoming system that from the northwest that's been moving in overnight. That's kind of re-energized this and really popped it up. It's sitting there as a stationary front right now and continuing to dump that rain. If we get a little bit closer, you can see the moderate to heavy rainfall showing up. It's been consistently for the last 2 or 3 hours sitting right over parts of Vashon Island, the Kitsap Peninsula, and then over towards West Seattle and parts of Seattle, just really coming down in buckets there, and definitely not being handled well by all the drains out there. We will look for that to start to spread up and down the sound, and we'll see the intensity go down as we head towards the afternoon and overnight tonight as that system starts to get reorganized and pushes on out of here as we head towards early on Saturday. See, looking out from the Bellingham Tower Cam, it's north of all the action. It's been looking pretty quiet this morning and generally dry. You'll see some showers moving in there this afternoon. That steady rain should move in there as we head towards later in the afternoon. A very wet looking day. It almost says November looking at that picture, doesn't it? But that rain definitely coming down in buckets, and a low overcast right down in the tops of all the sky rises in downtown, kind of disappearing into that cloud bank. Checking down in Tacoma, watching the rain come down as well, and just light winds going on this morning, but pretty much wet anywhere that's underneath that front, that's for sure. These are rainfall totals for a couple of SchoolNet sites since midnight, and you can see we've had over 0.6 of an inch for both Aberdeen High School and Chinook Middle School in Bellevue. That's quite a bit of rain for western Washington for less than 12 hours, 8 hours about it at this point, 8 or 9 hours. You can see it's a little less than ½ an inch there at Showalter Middle School in Tukwila. So definitely a wet morning commute, that's for sure. Checking our extended forecast, we have that rain today. It's going to be letting up a little bit. It'll be continue to be steady as we head towards this afternoon, but we'll see the rain overnight tonight. That should turn pretty quickly to off and on showers tomorrow, and then looks like we're going to be in a showery pattern on into next week. And then as we head towards mid to late week, we might see things dry out for a couple of days, but it also cools down as we head into the end of the week too. Checking the satellite image, you can see the incoming system very clearly. That band that we have that's giving us all the rain is actually underneath the high clouds from this system, so you really can't pick it out, but it is definitely there and soaking things down. But this whole system is going to swing through here as we head towards a little bit later on. In fact, we take a look at the computer model, you can see that band just sitting there as the system comes moving in, and then they kind of merge, and that kind of moves on out of here as we head towards tomorrow morning. It'll turn the steady rain into off and on showers. As we head on towards later on Saturday, we'll see those showers just to become a little bit spottier and same as we head into Sunday, and then we drop into that pattern, which is going to be basically showers and sun breaks for the first 2 or 3 days of next week. Take a look at the mountains. Not looking all that great for skiing and snowboarding. This is paradise on Mount Rainier. It's a little above 5,000 feet, and nothing but rain going on for them. A wet-looking morning in. For the passes, well, no driving problems from snow, that's for sure. The snow level's up around 7, 8, 9,000 feet, but we've got bare and wet pavement for Stevens, Snoqualmie, and White Passes. North Cascades Highway is closed right now. They're going to keep it closed through the weekend, make a decision on Monday whether or not they're going to reopen it. They're concerned about the possibility of rain and snow up there, and so they may be closed potentially for the winter at this point. So we'll keep close watch on that as we head into the first part of next week. Checking those snow levels, you can see it's still pretty warm out there. 7,000 feet today, 9,000 tomorrow, 8,000 on Sunday, and then as we head into the first part of next week, we slowly cool a little bit down to 5,000 feet. By the time it gets down to closer to the base of the ski areas, it pretty much dries out as we head towards the end of the week. Taking a look at Snoqualmie Pass, you can see we've got the rain coming down all the way through the day today, and checking that extended again. So today we'll see that rain locally heavy this morning, and then just some steady rain later today and overnight tonight. Highs getting into the low to mid 50s. That'll turn to off and on showers tomorrow with sun breaks, then basically showers and sun breaks Sunday, Monday into Tuesday, as we're going to have some kind of disorganized systems just kind of brush by us. And then as we head towards the end of the week, it looks like we're going to be between weather systems altogether. We'll be seeing partly sunny skies and those high temperatures dropping back to the upper 40s and low 50s. And we're going to see the lows actually dropping down into the 30s to near 40 degrees around Puget Sound.
We still have more to talk about on weather out west. We'll get a check on the forecast from Spokane coming up. But also, we wanted to share this with you. A deer made a surprise entrance into an Ohio junior high school. We've got it all on video still ahead. So check this out. A high school in Ohio had a surprising guest earlier in the week. This surveillance video from outside of the school yesterday, you see them there, it shows a normal Thursday morning until you see how those deer just come running, dashing toward the high school, and then they're in the cafeteria. It ran full speed, slamming through the window. Video from inside the cafeteria, it was showing that staff and students reacted quickly as the deer struggled to get back on its feet. And you see the trash cans there, the boarded window there. Once the buck was able to gather himself, school staff opened the back door, and then deer can be seen running out of the building. Thankfully, no one was hurt. All right, let's pick things back up in Spokane, Washington, where Thomas Patrick has everything we need to know as we head into the weekend.
I'm meteorologist Thomas Patrick in Spokane, Washington. I actually start you out at Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. It has been cloudy all morning long. A little bit of some rain here and there, but not as much as what we had yesterday and last night. You're going to hear me say that leading into the weekend, because when we're going to look at our rain chances, I'm going to use that as a comparison. And honestly, nothing's going to be nearly as much as what we had yesterday and last night in comparison. A few on and off rain showers, scattered, if you will, amidst these daily rain chances. But some of the rain chances are a little bit higher, some are a little bit lower. But I haven't really seen anything that promises a 100% dry day. And that's kind of the tricky part of the forecast for Spokane and the inland Northwest. Even today is a good example. It's almost as close to 50-50 chances for rain as we can get. Basically, the leftovers of the atmospheric river still being felt in the form of some mild temperatures, plenty of cloud cover, and even a little sliver of rain. This is not nearly as much in comparison to what we had last night. So I do think some areas will get wet, some areas might be able to dodge it for today. The temperatures, though, have been so mild, we almost set a record warm low temperature this morning. It got down to 47, and the record warm low in Spokane was 49 degrees for today's date. So we were very close to that. Now, the cloud cover is just going to keep those temps pretty much near 50 degrees or so. I go 52 in Spokane, even as warm as 55 in Pullman, and 60 out of Lewiston for mid-November. That's pretty mild here. I think the low temperatures were even more impressive. Even tonight's low, 43 degrees, matches the average high temperature, with our highs themselves being almost 10 degrees above average. So that's the effect of the atmospheric river. And the snow levels are going to be a little bit higher than they normally would be this time of year. Even the mountains might experience a little bit of snow melt because of how mild this weather pattern is. As for the rain chances, it's either 60 or 20% for the next 5 days. It's not 100%, it's not 0%. Rain chances are going to be somewhere in the middle. So today and Monday's rain chances are a little bit higher than, say, the weekend. With that being said, because of the scattered or almost random nature of these showers, it's going to be hard to pinpoint exactly when or exactly where these showers could occur, because there is that random element to these showers. So I'm just going to give you kind of more of a general vibe from the afternoon to the evening, kind of almost that 50-50, 60-40 split of rain versus no rain. Meanwhile, for the weekend, this is Saturday morning. This looks a lot clearer in comparison, and that's the direction we're heading for this weekend, where most of us should get off dry Saturday and Sunday, but probably not all of us. I think 1 or 2 spots of rain both Saturday and Sunday are going to be possible. In the meantime, temperatures at least stay mild for the season. And everything still feels kind of wishy-washy into the forecast for next week, with a few moments of rainfall, Monday being one of those where it does look a little bit more likely for rainfall. So today, Monday, is kind of our best chance for rain, as temperatures are still above average for the season.
Now let's head on over to Boise, Idaho, where Hector Mendoza will tell us about the rain that is likely going to stick around through next week.
Well, a lot of folks here in Idaho anticipating when Christmas is coming along. So I did want to take a look at the holiday countdown that we have. So Thanksgiving comes first. So we still got to get through Thanksgiving. We're about 13 days away as of Friday. And then we're going to continue to see that we have about 41 days till Christmas and just under 50 days until we get to New Year's Day. And a lot of folks are hoping for some of the cooler temperatures and some snow to start to fall here in the valley. Not really expecting a lot of that, as we've had some warm temperatures the past couple of days. We'll continue that way in through Saturday, and then we see a chance for some showers to come along early Sunday in through Monday. But here's a look at yesterday's high. So this is a look at Thursday, November 13th. We saw that those temperatures dipped down really and stayed into those upper 40s for the morning, but we saw those temperatures climb up into the low 70s out in Twin Falls, and those temperatures there broke records in Twin Falls. So new record, 71 degrees. Previous record set back in 1999, hitting at 69 degrees. So again, it's a very warm afternoon yesterday for the Magic Valley, and we're going to continue to see more of those warmer temperatures here through Saturday. We're also expecting clear and drier conditions through the rest of Friday afternoon, but we see that rain and some of those high elevation snow showers to return as we head closer in through Sunday. But here is that weather setup as we continue to see that this ridge of high pressure brings us a little bit more of those warmer temperatures. Showers coming along at least through the afternoon portion of our Friday, coming along courtesy of this system there up into the north. And then we're going to see that the system there closer to the coast of California is going to start to make its way up northward, and that's what's going to bring us some more of those showers as we head closer in through Sunday. But these are some of the totals we've seen so far. So most of the showers and most of that rain really just kind of sticking up in some of the mountains. Much higher elevation snow came along there, but that was very minimal, and not much really fell here across the Treasure Valley, as Caldwell not really seeing that much here through midnight and through this morning. But as we look at this future cast and we continue to fast forward here to the rest of the afternoon, a lot of those showers make their way on out, and we expect to see a lot more of that sunshine coming along here for Saturday. And that is pretty much what's going to continue for most of the day, with some of those clouds coming and going through most of the day to start off the weekend. And then as we head on into Sunday, that next system comes in and brings us a lot more of those widespread showers across the Treasure Valley, and we're looking to see that through Ontario all the way through Boise and Nampa, with a little bit more of that there starting to come along for portions of the mountains. And we're going to see again some of those snow levels start to drop just a little bit as we head on in towards Monday, as temperatures will also cool off, and we're expecting to see more of those temperatures start to get to below average as we get into early next week. So here's a look at that 7-day forecast here for Twin Falls, staying into the 60s through Saturday, mid 50s into Sunday, upper 40s as we head on into Monday, dropping down just a couple of degrees into Tuesday. And again, these morning temperatures will start to climb down to below freezing temperatures there into the upper 20s by Wednesday. And again, we see unsettled weather that continues there from the beginning of the week all the way through Thursday. And that's going to be very similar here in the 7-day forecast that we're looking at here in Boise. So that sunshine there, that brief break on Saturday, more showers return for Sunday and Monday. Temperatures are down into the upper 40s, into the low 30s there for the morning, there for the middle of the week. But then we slowly start to climb up, get back into those low 50s as we head into Thursday, with a chance of some more showers.
Having fun in the water is for all ages. I think we can agree on that. And these ladies prove it. We're headed to the beach with the Wave Chasers when we come right back. A women's bodyboarding group in San Diego is making waves. The Wave Chasers have been around for 20 years, and they're for all ages. We take a look at the group that is now 100 members strong with CBS 8's Jeff Zavelli.
For many San Diegans, the Pacific is the perfect playground for people of all ages. Sauntering the sand with swag. I want you to meet the Wave Chasers.
Sometimes literally up and down the coast.
For 71-year-old Lori Nickerson, bodyboarding is a team sport.
You know, coming alone and getting in the cold water is kind of not fun. But if you're coming and you know other people are going to show up, look at this. This is a normal day.
The Wave Chasers started more than 20 years ago with 5 members and now sport more than 100.
The lifeguards, they know us because we're such a big group. They're always looking for us.
Kate Larson says an extra set of eyes helps her face fears.
You know, you don't want to be scared. That's the worst thing.
On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, they just show up.
You don't need makeup. You don't need to comb your hair.
Many of these women spotted the group on Facebook. 67-year-old Dora Clifford moved to San Diego without a single friend.
I thought, oh, that sounds like fun.
Dora couldn't believe it when she heard about the Wave Chasers' oldest member.
I was like, 92? Oh my God. I was like, dang, that is so beautiful. If she can do it, I want to.
Teruko Fong loves it when people dare to tell her she's too old.
We're having fun.
About every 15 minutes, you'll hear these 2 words: party wave.
Wipeouts aren't a barrier, and neither are special challenges.
I love it.
Carice Miller was born with cerebral palsy.
Don't give up and just try your best, and you can do what you put your mind and heart into.
Because take it from these ladies, you can chase waves.
Awesome, that's why we're here.
And dreams at any age.
It was great, refreshing.
Everyone in the group told me.
Awesome.
There's an old lady inside of them. Fortunately, she doesn't like the water.
Oh, the old lady's got to stay outside while we're still having fun.
In the Zavoli zone,
There's nothing more fun! Oh my gosh, I love it! Yay!
Jeff Seville, CBS 8.
So I stand corrected. Not all of us like to play in the water, but that's okay. They have a good time. Okay, so that's going to do it for us here on Weather Out West on this Friday. I'm meteorologist Ashley Ruiz, and as always, we thank you for being with us today, and we'll see you right back here on Monday.